A car you already own could soon earn money by itself while you sleep. Tesla plans to turn millions of cars into a robotaxi fleet overnight, but this is based on a bet most engineers and investors still have no answer for. Tesla's Cybercab has no steering wheel, no pedals, and a single kind of sensor watching the road: cameras. This is a bet that a cheap camera and nothing else can replace a human driver well enough to turn every Tesla already on the road into a taxi that earns money while its owner sleeps. The entire plan rests on one problem nobody has solved: whether a machine that sees the world in flat pictures, the way your phone does, can be trusted in the rare split seconds that decide whether someone lives. And with that question still open, two companies are already putting empty cars onto public streets, with paying passengers in the back, even though no one has proven these rides are truly driverless, or that a single one of them makes a cent. When you take a taxi or an Uber, you are mostly paying for one thing: not the fuel, not the car, but the person in the front seat. Labor is roughly 60 to 70% of the cost of a ride. Remove the driver and a $4 mile can fall toward $1. That single number is why hundreds of billions of dollars are now chasing the same prize: a car that drives all day with no one to pay. Two companies lead the race, and they have built almost perfectly opposite machines. But there was one issue. To delete the driver, you first have to replace the one thing a driver does better than any computer ever has. A human driver does something that looks easy, but is brutally hard. In a tenth of a second, your eyes turn a flat image into a three-dimensional world, with distance, speed, and even intent, and you act on those informations before you could ever explain why. A car has no instinct. It has to measure the world, and that is where everything breaks. Depth from a single camera is mathematically ambiguous. The same flat image of a truck can be a small truck up close or a huge truck far away, and getting that wrong by half a second is the difference between braking and a collision. The bar the machine has to clear is merciless. Human drivers in the United States average roughly one death for every 100 million miles. To be allowed to remove the driver, a car has to match that and then beat it, and the last sliver of reliability is the hardest part of the entire problem. Engineers call it the March of Nines. Going from 99% reliable to 99.9 is hard. But then going to 99.99 is exponentially harder, because every new 9 means catching a rarer, stranger event the last version never saw. A child in a Halloween costume, a couch in the fast lane, a truck the exact color of the sky. For years, the field believed there was only one way to clear that bar, and that answer came out of a desert race. In the mid-2000s, a Pentagon contest sent driverless cars across open terrain, and the team that would later become Waymo learned a lesson that shaped the next 20 years. Do not ask the car to interpret a flat picture. Measure the world directly. Lidar fires laser pulses, up to millions per second, and times how long each one takes to bounce back, building a precise three-dimensional point cloud of everything around the car. There is no guessing about depth. It is measured to the centimeter. Pair that with a high-definition map of every curb and lane, pre-driven and stored, and the car only has to notice what has changed. This is the Waymo approach, and it works. It also created a new problem the moment it succeeded. The sensors are expensive and bulky. A single early spinning LiDAR unit cost around $75,000, more than the car carrying it. A Waymo vehicle wears roughly 29 cameras, multiple LiDAR units, and radar, plus the computers and cooling to run them, pushing the estimated cost of one car past $150,000. And the high-definition map has to be built, then rebuilt, for every street it drives, which is why Waymo runs inside tight-mapped zones in a handful of cities instead of everywhere. The robust answer does not scale cheaply. Radar offered a different path through the problem, and for a while it rode alongside the cameras as a safety net. Radar measures distance and speed even through rain and fog. But it has poor resolution and a habit of seeing ghosts. A metal overpass or a stopped fire truck can produce a return that looks identical to harmless clutter. Fuse a confident camera with a twitchy radar, and the two argue. The car either slams the brakes for nothing, a fault called phantom braking, or it learns to ignore the radar exactly when it matters most. Tesla's response was the move almost no one expected. In 2021, they deleted the radar entirely, and later the ultrasonic sensors too. Removing a sensor to make a system safer sounds backwards. But this is a design rule Elon Musk runs his companies by. Delete parts and requirements aggressively on the logic that if you never have to add roughly a tenth of them back later, you did not cut deep enough. Radar was simply the most visible thing it removed. That left cameras alone to do everything, including the one thing they are worst at, judging depth and catching the rare object. And the cost of getting that wrong was already on the record. In 2019, a Tesla running its driver assist system drove beneath the white side of a tractor-trailer crossing a highway. This was not an ordinary software bug. It was the precise weakness every critic had warned about. A flat image with no real depth, in the long tail where reliability has to be highest and is hardest to reach. By the end of the 2010s, the industry consensus was close to settled. Cameras alone were not enough, and a company betting everything on them was being reckless. Tesla argued the opposite, that lidar was a crutch, expensive hardware compensating for software that simply was not good enough yet, and that since humans drive with 2 eyes and a brain, a car should be able to drive with cameras and a large enough neural network. And for a long stretch, it looked like a losing argument. The finish line for camera-only driving kept sliding further away, and serious engineers openly doubted it would ever arrive. But millions of Tesla cars on the road quietly became a data collection fleet, sending back the exact rare moments the system fumbled. Instead of hand-coding a rule for every object, the team trained the car to build its own three-dimensional model of the space around it directly from the cameras, predicting which volumes of the world are solid and which are empty rather than trying to name everything it sees. Depth that used to be measured by a laser was now being estimated, frame by frame, from flat images, not perfectly, but a little better with every mile the fleet drove. And that is exactly why Tesla's bet, if it lands, is so dangerous to Waymo. If cameras are enough, then autonomy costs almost nothing to add to a car Tesla already builds by the millions. Every Tesla already sold carries the cameras and the computer. The plan is to let owners add their car to a shared robotaxi network, earning money carrying strangers during the roughly 95% of the day the car would otherwise sit parked. That would be a fleet of millions, summoned only by a software update with no new factory required. Waymo, hand-assembling $150,000 cars one city at a time, has no answer to that arithmetic. But all that is only true if Tesla's approach really works. This is because Waymo has already driven tens of millions of fully driverless miles on public roads, and its published safety data so far shows fewer injury crashes per mile than human drivers in the same cities. The expensive sensors buy something real. A lidar does not care that the truck is the color of the sky because it is not looking at color. It is measuring the true shape of the world in 3 dimensions. When one sensor is blinded, 2 others still see. That redundancy is a measurable safety margin that Tesla is deliberately choosing to live without. But by 2025, the argument stopped being theoretical. Tesla launched a real driverless taxi service in Austin, empty driver's seat and paying riders, proving that cameras alone can run a robotaxi in a live city. But it launched small, inside a tight geofence, with human monitors watching remotely. The same crutches Tesla had spent years mocking. Waymo, meanwhile, was handing out more than 100,000 paid driverless rides a week, but still only in a few mapped cities, still in cars too expensive to flood a country with. Each company had arrived precisely at the other's weakness. Tesla's cheap, scalable system still has to prove it is safe enough without help, and Waymo's safe, proven system still has to prove it can ever be cheap enough to win. Add it up, and it is not yet clear that a single driverless ride turns a real profit for anyone, which means the contest may not be about who is winning, but about who can afford to keep losing the longest. But the truth is that these machines are probably the future of urban transport and are already driving and evolving. But so far, we still do not know which way of seeing the world is right, and these cars still need human intervention in abnormal cases. That human dependency is tolerable when the machine is a taxi on a quiet street, but it turns far more dangerous when the machine is built to fight a war, and when the link back to its human can be cut on purpose by an enemy who wants it gone. And this is exactly the problem that military AI autonomous jets, like the Anduril Fury, are fighting to solve. But despite that, the Air Force is already planning to buy them, even if they may not survive a real war. Click this video to know why.